Cool.
Cool. So you haven't got like 3 different cameras. So you can like,
Nah,
mix up the shots.
I spent all my money on the car. I didn't realise we'd have commentators.
Quiet in the cheap seats, mate.
Well, thank you for coming and doing this. Or
My
for letting me
pleasure,
come
mate.
over and do this.
My pleasure, Josh.
I guess the first thing I want to ask you, so how many jobs have you had? If you were to think about, I don't know, how far back in you think? 19 something.
Mm-hmm.
How many jobs do you reckon you've had?
How many jobs? Shall I list them?
You can just
From
you can
memory?
give me a number, you can give me the ones that stand
Well,
out.
to give you a number, I need to remember in my head, including part-time jobs while I'm at school,
part-time,
paper runs,
yeah.
worked for Food Town, which is Countdown nowadays, as a baggage trolley boy. Worked at a gas station. Went farming at the end when I left high school. Worked as before I went farming, I was a telemarketer. Pick up phones, do you want to buy something, blah, blah, blah. For Grapevine magazine, actually. So that's 5-ish, 6. Then I went, worked for our Uncle Ross.
Yeah.
So building, what did I build?
Countertop?
Kitchen benches, yeah. So bench tops. Dairy farming, sheep and beef farming. Then I came up here, came back up to Auckland, and I went to Teachers College, school teacher, children's pastor, youth pastor, national director for a youth organisation, magazine editor, youth, what did I do? What do you call it? What is my official title? It is a something director, coordinator of our Tokawara youth program out here, and bike shop owner.
Beekeeper in there as well?
Oh, beekeeping, yes. Beekeeping. So I don't know, it's like maybe 12.
Yep. Then you write Grapevine now?
Yep. So, that's a magazine editor. So, and then there's some freelance writing as well. So, yeah, I don't know, 13, 14. Yeah, is that a lot?
It's a lot more than me.
I'm a lot older than you.
I think
though.
I've only had 3?
3?
3 so far?
Okay. 10 more to catch up.
Yeah, I got time.
You got time, mate. You got time.
Out of all of these jobs that you've done, have you found purpose or fulfillment?
Have I found purpose or fulfillment in those jobs?
In those jobs, are there ones that you felt more fulfilled in or less fulfilled in? Or did you not find your purpose in those jobs?
So some of those jobs helped me realise that is not my purpose. Obviously, working in a supermarket, no disrespect to supermarket people, paper runs, apart from riding bikes, that was pretty cool. But I guess where I found purpose was definitely as a school teacher.
Yeah.
Purpose too felt like I loved farming. I still love it. So we've got a small farm here still. So love that because I love the outdoors. Like working with animals, the nature, all that sort of stuff. So that was cool. But probably more on a personal, not so much selfish level, but the lifestyle side of things. Farming was amazing. The hunting, all that sort of carry on. And definitely purpose in working with youth, for sure. Pretty much every other job. I don't do anything that if I don't think that there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Or that when I was young for sure, but I'm too old now. Anything I do, it's got to be because of it fulfills some sense of purpose, calling. Yeah, the feeling that I'm making a difference. So,
Yeah.
Otherwise.
And there's heaps of ways you can be making a difference, but you've felt a special connection, especially through youth and the young people and kids.
Yep. So I've been working with young people, I suppose, for probably 30 years. Yeah, for sure. And it's probably morphed a little bit. Like, obviously you change when you become a dad, right? So when you have kids of your own, obviously the passion's still there working with kids, but you also realise how important family, the family thing is. So it's probably widened a little bit when you understand the role of a dad in the life of how they impact their kids, and the family unit. So that's probably what it's expanded to, I reckon.
Yeah, because you did teaching and then you did Team Extreme, which was a lot of more troubled youth and stuff like that.
Yep, not just trouble, but we certainly did a lot of stuff focusing on that.
Yeah.
And obviously when I was youth pastoring, similar sort of thing. I worked a lot with the different schools.
Yeah.
Working with some of their tough kids, so yeah.
So you're saying before, like, there were things that helped you figure out what's not your purpose, and then how did you figure out this is my purpose? Did you just stumble upon it? Did you? You've tried a lot of different things, obviously, but
yeah. A lot of those things are these definite branches of similarity. When I think of especially the last 20 years of things that I've been doing, even probably the last 30 years, they're very similar. They're all revolving around family, young people, relationships, all that sort of stuff. So I think as far as how you find something like that, I reckon it's learning to identify what makes you come alive. So what makes you want to go to work, what makes what stirs something in your soul. From a faith perspective, what makes you feel like you are fulfilling what God's put you on this planet to do.
Yeah.
That would be, so not so much randomly searching for that sort of stuff. It's just if you're aware and you're open, you soon figure out. If you do something and it does nothing for you, then you move on. It's like you do something, it's like, oh yeah, that sparked something in me.
Yeah.
That made me feel good, made me feel fulfilled. I really liked seeing that I was able to help somebody or build something or make whatever.
Yeah.
I think part of learning that is just being in tune into how whatever it is you do affects,
Yeah.
you.
Do you reckon your purpose has to be your job, or your purpose can be outside of your job, or can be something you do after work, before work?
100%. Your purpose doesn't have to be your job. It's possibly a winner if it is.
Yeah.
There's that old saying, if you work doing something that you love, then you never have to work another day in your life, which is actually bullcrap, really. Because there's things that you love doing, but there's always going to be parts of that are boring.
Yeah.
So
my dad always told me, because Dad loves fishing.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you be a fishing child? He's like, if I had to fish every day and that was my job, I would hate fishing.
100%, man, for sure. So no, you can definitely find your purpose outside of your work, because I guess if your job was, if you decided to deliver newspapers, and that was your full-time job, maybe you could find a purpose in that, and you deliver the newspaper to, how you going, mate? Hope you had a great day.
A little convo, yeah.
It's good to, all of that sort of stuff, but probably most of the time you're just sticking in people's letterboxes, so it's probably hard to get real fulfillment out of that. So if you have got a job that's not really ticking the boxes, then it probably is important that you look outside of your day-to-day job to find something. Heaps of stuff.
When you were doing all those working with youth, do is that something that you try help the youth identify and the kids identify what they want to do, what they want to do with their lives, and try and encourage them towards that sort of thing, or
Yeah, well,
is it more behavioural stuff that you?
it's sort of life stuff really, because I reckon in the 30 years that I've been working with young people, there's been a pretty big shift in, and this is a generalisation obviously, but
Yeah.
From an employer's perspective and from knowing people that own businesses in town, it is so much harder to find a young person that is going to be an asset to their job, right?
Okay. Hard for employers to find assets in the youth.
Yeah. So, and this is like comes out of my own observations and also talking to friends of mine that own businesses. It's actually hard to find young people that are willing to put in the effort, like to work hard for something. And so I guess how my messaging has changed a little bit in the last few years is that, like I've realised now that if a young person can get their soft skills sorted, and so by soft skills I mean things like working hard, so your work ethic, being polite, having manners, being honest, turning up to work on time. If your boss or any adult is talking to you, looking them in the eye, talking to them properly, showing respect, all of those sort of soft skills. If you can get those sorted as a young person, like as a teenager, you will never struggle to get a job.
Yeah.
And that's because young people like that are actually pretty hard to find now. I don't reckon I'm exaggerating to say that there is far fewer people like that than what there was 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, I reckon. So, so those are the sorts of conversations that I'm having with kids these days, if they can actually get that sorted.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you an example. So, we've got a youth trust in town, which I'm the chairman of that board, and so we've got a bunch of youth workers that are working with kids in schools. They're trying to find one of the ladies that is involved. She's working in association with what's the government department involved with employment, Ministry of something or other. Anyway.
Yeah.
And so they've got some funding there that can help. So basically, if they find an employer in town who's willing to take on a young person, and I think they've got to be like school, they've got to be old enough to have left school.
Okay.
So is it 16? I think you have to be 16 now to leave school.
I'm not
something
sure.
like that. Anyway, so they've got to be that age, right? And the government helps fund the employer to provide a job, so help with the wage of that young person. And anyway, I can't remember the number of kids, but last time I spoke to her, there was something like 10 kids they'd put through this program, and maybe even more than that actually. And at the moment, there's only 2 that have remained.
That stayed
in
that
stayed.
job.
So they've either got fired or they just stopped turning up. And one of the guys I know who was an employer that did that, he's I can't remember how many kids that he had through his work that ended up just not turning up. But he's now said, we're not doing it anymore. Take me off this program because it's just too much of an issue. So I don't know if our town is much different to everywhere else in the country, but those are all examples of kids that haven't had those soft skills to be able to work hard, turn up at their job, be honest, not steal off their bosses, all of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I know from talking with them, if they found someone like that, they'd employ them in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So it's a rarity. Like what we used to take for granted as you know, when I was that age, it was sort of like if you didn't work hard, you wouldn't get a part-time job or you wouldn't get a job.
Yeah.
Now it seems there's a sense of entitlement. And I don't know, there's a bunch of different ways you can get money from the government, which people have worked out how to do anyway, so they don't have to work anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but that I reckon is one of the real keys. And I guess part of the challenge in that is if you,
With that shift that you're saying, like in their attitudes and demeanour and all that, have you seen a similar shift in why they want to work, their motivation? But is it just they just want the money, they just want something easy, like the whole driver of a job and a career, has that changed?
I think
do they care about purpose? Do they care about finding something fulfilling? Or they just want quick, easy money?
I'd say the 100% the baseline reason is the money.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. And look, to be honest, it's probably why most of us work, right? We've got to get money, pay our bills. For a young person, it's buying a car and it's all those sorts of things. Here's what I reckon is the difficulty, right? So we understand as an adult that, or most of us should understand, that to find a sense of purpose, from a guy's perspective, to work hard, right? To know that you're able to provide, to know that you're able to
provide and
protect, all of those sorts of things, I think is something that's instilled inside us. Yeah. So we get value and we get self-worth and we self-respect from knowing that we're able to provide. And whether, talking about these young people, eventually I presume that, a number of them are going to want to get married or have a partner and all of that sort of stuff. When you're unable to do that, and whether that's by choice or something else, if you're unable to sit down and work at a job like that, work hard, get an income, be consistent, there's a big part of you that you are not fulfilling. And I'm talking as a man, so as a man or as a young guy. And I think that is going to have some serious repercussions on how you feel about yourself going forward. And I think what ends up happening is they get into this perpetual cycle of, I don't feel good enough about myself, so therefore I probably can't work. So I'm probably going to get fired because I'm not good enough. And so, and for some of those kids, they don't try for long enough or they don't work hard long enough, and they end up getting rejected or fired or think, oh, this is too hard, I can't do this anymore, and then they stop, and that just continues this perpetual cycle of, I can't do, I'm not good enough, I can't provide, I can't whatever. So the psychological stuff that goes on around that, I think, is massive.
Yeah, and you'd say that it probably correlates with how depressed as a world we are at the moment.
And if you look at the average kid here in our town, if they're not working, they finish school and they're not working, they are either at home gaming, and or they're wandering around the streets, getting in trouble, doing, and again, it's that perpetuation of there's no self-fulfillment, no sense of purpose in living a life like that.
Yeah.
And all these young fellas are going to be growing up to become older men, adults in their 20s, and if they can't get out of that cycle, I reckon it's pretty concerning. So,
but it takes effort and intent and a decision to get out of that cycle, and it probably takes effort, decision, and intent to find your purpose. You're not just gonna.
It's not gonna just be handed to you on a platter.
Yeah, and your purpose isn't. It might not be the easiest job in the world.
No.
You might not find fulfillment in the easy things.
No, definitely. Yeah, 100%. It's a bit of a worry, bro. But that's why, again, I was saying to you before, like that focus is on just trying to build those soft skills about learning how to respect and all that sort of carry on, how to work hard. Yeah.
And you...
Well, here's an interesting thing, right, too. These kids have got they basically set themselves up with a bunch of bad habits too.
Yeah.
And I don't know I can't remember what it is, whether it's how many hours it takes or days it takes to get a new habit, but it's a lot, right? And so what you're trying to do with them is you're trying to instill in them a new habit. And going back to those soft skills we're talking about, a new habit of getting up early, a new habit of going to work on time, a new habit of speaking respectfully to your boss or to adults, or all of those things.
Yeah. And
changing habits, mindsets, all of that sort of stuff, it doesn't happen overnight. And I mean, you're bang on. It's like it is that hard work, which is what so many people seem to be unwilling to do.
Yeah.
The hard work thing. You're not going to find your purpose. You're not going to get a good job. None of that stuff. You're not going to be successful unless you learn that what it means to work hard.
Yeah.
Not give up.
And I guess it's big in the young people, but do you see that sometimes with the older generation, maybe with your peers, you see some of them sort of just get, I don't know, maybe complacent with what they're doing and no longer finding the same fulfillment in what they once did, and then they just, I don't feel fulfilled by this anymore.
Yeah, possibly.
And then they leave it behind, or not as much.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I guess some of the things that could affect that, there's probably a whole bunch of things, whether they're struggling with some sort of depression or anxiety or whatever, which can shift all of that focus. I reckon some of the issues with people that you see that are older, maybe my age or a bit younger, is there's a issue I see around at the moment, and I guess a good way to describe it is it's like the extension of adolescence.
Okay,
right?
Yep.
So this idea of the extension of adolescence. So, and it comes back, and again, I'm talking probably more around men. When you think about a boy becoming a man, especially in the older days and different cultures around the world, there was always this rites of passage type thing.
Yeah.
That a lot of cultures did, whether it was like the Maasai tribes in Africa, and I think, they used to do things where a boy had to go and kill a lion or whatever. Yeah. There's all sorts of different things. But the ideas, no matter what culture around the world, the ideas are all very similar, and it was a recognition by that tribe or that village or that country or whatever that a boy can't stay a boy for him to become a valuable member of society. If he stays a boy, he's going to become a drain.
Well, a boy is a dependent.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So all of those rites of passage, initiation type ceremonies, the underlying philosophy behind all of those things is that we've got to take this boy and we've got to turn him into a man.
Yeah. And
so what that means is we've got to take a boy who is, and this is normal, right? So a boy is self-seeking, he's egocentric, just thinks about himself and his own feelings. He doesn't really think about anyone else's. It's about what's going to happen to me, how is this going to benefit me, all of that sort of stuff, right? Which is a normal part of all of our childhoods.
Yeah.
Because we rely on others to keep us safe and to give us things and all that, because we're unable to. But if you never change from that sort of egocentric, self-seeking lifestyle, you're always going to be a hamstring on society, and you're always going to be a dependent. So the opposite of that is when you become a man, is that you start thinking about others. All right, it's not about me.
Yeah.
So you're lifting your gaze about, it's not all about me, egocentric, and you become exocentric, and you start looking, okay, how do I contribute now to community? What can I bring to help make my tribe better or my village better or my family better? What am I going to do to make everyone else's life easier? How can I protect? How can I provide? All of those sorts of things, which is, I think, by definition, is what it means to be a man, right?
Yeah.
So that whole idea of extension of adolescence is where that has never happened to that boy or that teenager, has never been challenged or had a male role model or father figure that's been able to help him journey from that that boyhood into
step up.
Step up. And so you've got people that are in their 30s and their 40s and probably in their 50s.
Still acting like...
Still, it's all about me. It's what's in it for me. What pleasure can I get out of that? How is this going to benefit me?
Yeah.
And so it's all navel-gazing stuff, It's all about, their own personal happiness instead of worrying about, how can I actually help everyone else around me be better? How can I provide? How can I protect? What can I do to help this person or that person? Or how am I going to be a benefit to society?
Do you think then, just coming back a little bit, that's where people should start looking at if they're wanting to think about purpose, is look outside themselves. Look at how can I help others, and that's where you find fulfillment, because it's no longer about yourself, it's about helping others. And
yeah, man, 100%, bro, 100%. And I think there's been a fair bit of research around that which talks about, or talks to that idea of true fulfillment in life comes through what you can do to help other people. That's where most people find their greatest fulfillment.
Yeah.
I mean, we love surfing, going on a good surf trip and all that sort of stuff, and it's cool, and we have a lot of fun, and but that is not as fulfilling as knowing that you were able to really help somebody in their life, whether it's through a job that you did for them, whether it's helping them out of a situation, whether it was being through generosity, whatever.
Yeah.
Those things are always going to be more fulfilling than what we do for
ourselves,
for a bit of excitement for ourselves. I think you're bang on with that, mate. 100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the convo and
My pleasure,
sharing
mate.
your thoughts and your wisdom, and appreciate it.
Honey, so we're going to have to cut this. We're filming and you've just walked in front of the camera.
That's all right.
Did you not get the memo? No, darling.
That's all right.
It's all right. Cut.
Sorry.
Okay, do you want to grab your stuff and...
Well, I'm just trying to get Libby
Hey? Just leave that there. Oh my gosh, Hunter! And that's definitely a challenge. It's going to come out again.
I need to sneeze anyway.
That's right.
Just go.
We'll just
Go
go
again.
again.